Hi, Alex Forte here, The Art of Simple Golf. Today I'm going to give you 3, of course, simple drills that are going to help you with your ball striking, especially with your irons. And a couple you can even just do at home, but these are going to give you that sort of whoosh and strike through the ball and that consistency that so many of you are after. And it's not as difficult as you may think. These are go-to drills that are used with many of our students in some of our programs, but also for myself. So let's get to it. This isn't about complicated technique. This isn't about trying to force your body into unnatural movements or trying to confuse your brain about having to do too much. This is tapping into those instincts a little bit more and that sort of common sense feel that is going to give you the consistent contact. And when we want to strike the ball better, it's about getting the ball first and getting that compression. And there are certain elements that really benefit that. One is not moving around too much, so we're kind of staying centered, so there's not too much worry about returning back to center to kind of get the bottom of that arc the same every time. Because what goes up must come down type of thing. So we want to try and minimize that somewhat. And the other thing that we need to try and look for is being able to get that shaft lean. Okay, so that shaft lean here, when we collect the golf ball, when we're down there, when we collect the golf ball, that's what's going to give you the dynamic loft and that penetrating ball flight, basically. Now, the other element we're going to show you is who else is here? Me and my other head. The other feeling we're going to get is to be able to sort of stay on top of it a lot more. And when you do that, you're going to get that squeezing action, hopefully, that sensation a little bit more. So let's go through those 3 drills pretty quickly. I'm not going to sort of bore you to death, at least hopefully, so let's get to it. Right, number 1, one of my go-to, very favorite drills for myself, for pretty much every single golfer that I've encountered and helped, and we use it in programs, we use it on online coaching. We've got another video in it, but it is so good, especially if you're not playing that much or whatever it might be. And it is the feet together drill. And that's, that's enough explanation in some ways, because if you can't hit a golf ball well and get that kind of compression with your feet together, with that nice sort of flow that you have to kind of generate in that balance to be able to bottom out every time here, it's going to be very difficult to try and do it with a full swing. But the other element that I love about the feet together drill is, I used it first, I think it might have been Andy Gorman, 20 years ago now, who showed it me the first time, and I've used it ongoing. Actually, I loved it so much I didn't want to not use it. But Sean Clement reintroduced me to it and reminded me about it, and it's such a good drill to be able to use. So anyway, enough of me rabbiting. But the idea is, if you can really feel this if you put your feet and knees together and your hands on your hips. And this is the turning sensation we want. We don't want just the upper body and those legs staying locked. We want to have movement in those knees, that kind of rotation but balance, feeling like the feet are suction cups and the hips are turning around. And you do that, and all that happens is the arms will flow around that point. Okay, that's what's going to give you that kind of consistent sort of bottoming out and that strike that you want, with that freedom without having to think too much about technique. So it's just allowing the club to glide where you want it to go, but you can still get that zip through the ball. You can still get the strike that you want. So this is where you can practice it. It doesn't have to be on the course, it can be on the range, it can be in the yard with a wiffle ball, whatever it might be. Stand a little bit closer, the ball in between your toes. Okay, you can try with an 8 or a 9-iron or something to begin with, but all we're looking for is making sure that you turn your core, your back, your hips, everything together to be able to get that sensation. Okay, and that's what's going to give you that strike, and from there you kind of ramp it up to a bit more velocity when you do it, and then obviously sort of normal swings. Number 2 is we're looking at trying to get over the ball a little bit more. And I saw Eddie Pepperell using this, and it's an old school drill actually, but it reminded me to share it with some people. And what we're looking at is we don't want the arms sort of standing up too much. That's a problem when people do this. They're kind of standing up a little bit tall, and they're trying to whiff back at it. And as I said, we want that compression. We want to stay on top of it and squeeze it out. This, with a golf ball, with the back of your hand just releasing down at the bottom, is going to, instinctively create that for you. And you can improve that drill a little bit by trying to hit that ball as you move through. So you've got the sequence, you've got your, that planting of the foot moving through to where your target would be, but we're trying to make sure that we keep the chest down and the back of the hand is just going there, right at the ball. Okay, so where the ball would be, as if I was addressing it, is where, well, actually, yeah, so it's about there, okay? And you can strike it. Now I'm gonna go and collect that now. But that's the drill that you want, and you can sort of work on your speed with that. And from this angle, okay, from this angle, what we're looking at is here, there. That's the feeling that you want. Pick up your club, and then you can sort of repeat it like that. And that sort of extension. Always, you notice on most of my videos, I kind of just do 3/4 swings, because when we're trying to practice something, I love to do that because it stops you from trying to hit it full tilt, okay? So use that drill. And number 3 is a kind of challenging drill, but if you do it right, it's going to give you that release that you want to be able to get that ball, then turf, then towards the target. Because that's what we want that kind of extension and that zip. All we need to do, because what can happen is, especially if you're right hand dominant, you can kind of hold back a little bit too much with the right side here and cause that sort of flipping action. So we kind of do that and we end up scooping the ball somewhat. And I talked about we want that shaft lean, okay? We want to try and get into that position there, because that's what's going to give you the dynamic loft and that ball flight. And all you need to do with this drill is actually just after impact, I want you to let go of your right hand, because that will force you to swing through in that kind of fashion, holding on to that angle a little bit more. Now, I don't want you to be doing it this way, so you've got this huge amount of space, because that's just going to carve the ball over to the right. All we're looking for is that from this kind of position halfway back, just releasing through there. That's going to educate that feel of having that shaft lean through the ball. The greenkeepers aren't going to love me here, are they? But that's the sensation. So don't try and hit this hard, but really you're just letting go. Simple as that. It might not work out perfectly to begin with as you do the swing. However, if you make that swing, you can get that shaft lean. And I got a pretty decent strike on that. It takes a little bit of getting used to, takes a bit of time to get, confident that you're still going to be able to get through the ball, but you're going to get that compression. So you try that a couple of times to get used to it, and use this drill as often as you like. And it'll give you that nice sort of strike that you're after. So there you have it. 3 awesome drills. If you have any questions, leave them below. If you like the video, like and subscribe. If you didn't, let me know too. And follow the link for a really fantastic series for every facet of your game. Thanks for watching.